Good morning and welcome back to Market Day Report. I'm Chris Swift. I think the grain markets are getting a little bit better. Let's take a look and see how they're doing now that we've had a few minutes to look. Up a half now on the May corn at 436.5. The July contract up a half at 449.25. The December still above 470, 471.25, up a half. See if our soybean market has gained any more back to it, and still down on the day, down 4 on the May contract at 1183.75. July down 3 3/4, 1198.5. Novi beans 1179.25, down 1 1/4. And let's see, Chicago wheat. It's been a little bit firmer, still up 2 3/4 on the May at 545.5. New crop July up 1 3/4, 559.25. Kansas City hard red winter wheat. It's a little bit firmer, up 1 1/2 on May, 575.25. New crop July up a half at 568 even. And we'll take a look at Minneapolis spring wheat. Up 1 1/4 on the May at 652 even. July up 1, 658 3/4. New crop December 680.25, up 1/4. And we'll wrap it up with the cotton market. Cotton's down pretty sharply on the May contract, 92.86, down 171. July down $1.43 at 92.83. And the month to watch is December at 83.25 as the South decides whether they're going to plant beans or cotton in some of those acres down there. I'm going to invite my guest in now. He is Ben Hushon with the mill up there. And I know you're up in the northeast of the United States, and it looks like this weekend you're going to get a whale of a storm. How is that going to impact some of the pre-field work that you've done this year?
Good morning, Chris. I don't know. In agriculture, we're not looking quite that far ahead. First off, happy National Ag Day. And just to tell you, in our community, we've had a stretch. It seemed like week after week, I kept telling you, wet, wet, wet. Well, now this is how we're celebrating National Ag Day. This is day number 8 that we're able to get in the fields. Farmers are able to get in the fields. So they're spreading manure, they're spreading lime, certainly putting fertilizer on their small grains. Some of them have even begun putting a little bit of phosphorus and potash down for their corn and soybeans. And they're pretty much running as hard as anyone will let them run, running some long days, and certainly always wondering when the next weather system's going to come through. But so just not missing an opportunity. And even, I'm sure I'll show you some pictures later on this summer, but most of our fields, probably 30-40% of our farms, have woods or patches of trees around them. So there's a lot of trees and branches that they're now finally able to get out with a loader and chainsaw and get them pushed back now that the soil has dried up enough.
All right, and is that a wheat field that we're looking at right now that you sent to us?
Yeah. Yes, sir. That's a good-looking wheat field. And I tell you, we're a little surprised for the date, certainly March 19th, that we're going to probably start going back through, not that particular field, because it looked pretty clean, but we'll be going back through wheat fields and putting down some weed control and that second shot of nitrogen in sometime next week, likely, if not sooner, because we had a long stretch of above average. We were 20 degrees above average for 2.5 weeks. Not today. We're about 42 and very breezy, but certainly kicked a lot of that small grain in gear a little earlier than we're used to.
All right, and so I noticed that in that field there, we've talked to Dr. Darrell Peel and several others about the number of cattle that have remained on wheat pasture grazing right now. I didn't see any cattle on that wheat field, but in your area, do you see any of that where there's more cattle on the wheat than maybe used to be?
No, I know it's been talked about. We have some folks now that, and I'd say this is new just in the last 3-4 years, that are putting up temporary fencing and grazing some of their cover crop, but that's not become a practice at all in the wheat and our general footprint.
Fantastic. Ben, I really do appreciate you taking the time to be with us this morning. As Ben Hushon, he is with the mill, and we're going to go away, take a real quick commercial break, talk a little livestock with me, Chris Swift. Stay with us.